what we're going to do, one of you is going to get to use water, and the other one of you is going to get to use acetone. Okay? Which one do you want? Water or acetone? Acetone. You'll do acetone, okay? And here's a beaker. Here's a beaker for you. And let me get some water for you. Okay?
This is my business.
All right. Now, what I would like for each one of you to do is I would like you guys to measure out, let's say, 50, let's go with like 30 milliliters of your liquid. Okay? So she's going to measure out 30 milliliters of water. You're going to measure out 30 milliliters of acetone. Got it?
Yeah. This smells like the stuff at the nail salon.
Well, that is exactly what it is. So this is essentially nail polish remover.
Is this what they like wrap your nails in tin foil
Yes,
for?
that
when
is
you have the
exactly.
gel?
Yep, that is exactly
Alright.
what they're doing.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay? Now, what I would like for you ladies to do is I would like for you to pour your liquids into your styrofoam cups. Let's all do it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
On your mark, get set, go.
Watch out. Oh my gosh, it ate my cup. That looks like grits.
No.
A little bit.
I dare you eat it, Becca.
No.
I don't think the water.
And then we can do like this.
It ate it.
I'm melting.
Oh my gosh.
It does look a little bit like really bad grits.
It should be illegal to have this much fun at your job, right? I should drink that? I don't want to drink nail polish remover. I don't know about you. Well, what's wrong with your liquid?
Some water.
What's the problem? They're both like clear, colorless liquids. Why shouldn't they have the same effect?
Will this kill you volatile?
It's not going to be so good for you. You might choke. You might get an upset stomach. You might actually vomit.
And then
It's
you'll probably have to go to
possible.
the hospital.
You might have to get your little tummy pumped.
You might. There we go. Okay, now, you guys, the question is, we had two clear colorless liquids. Why such a dramatic difference in how they behave when we put them in the styrofoam cups?
One is more volatile than the other.
Or be
Okay,
less
yes.
Or like,
One is more volatile than the other. But
does that mean
does
it'd be bad?
volatility have anything to do with what's going on here?
No.
No.
No, because we're not looking at how readily something evaporates. Okay? So, you guys, what is happening to my little styrofoam cup here?
it's turning into.
Dissolve it.
Oh, it is dissolving. Okay? It is dissolving. So, yes. All right? So, here the styrofoam is dissolving in the acetone. Here, the styrofoam is not dissolving in the water. Okay? Do you guys remember me saying something the other day about like dissolves like? Okay? When you guys were going through some of your vocabulary, one of the two words that you guys learned or looked up was polar and nonpolar. Does anybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Water. Have you learned anything about water in the past? Is it polar or is it nonpolar?
Polar.
Water is a very, very polar solvent, okay? Now, here, water did not dissolve the styrofoam cup, okay? So, the principle is called like dissolves like. In other words, polar things dissolve in polar things, but will non-polar things dissolve in polar things? No, because they're not alike. Are you guys getting the idea? Okay, so water is polar. We know that from past experience. So what does that tell us about the styrofoam? It is non-polar. So styrofoam is a non-polar solid, okay? And therefore, it is not dissolving in the polar water. Over here, we've got the styrofoam dissolving, okay? So what does that tell us about the styrofoam and the acetone?
They're both non-polar.
They're both nonpolar, okay? So the acetone is a much less polar solvent than the water is. And so what happens here is the nonpolar styrofoam starts to dissolve in the less polar acetone. Acetone isn't completely nonpolar, but it doesn't have anywhere close to the polarity that water has, okay? So the property that we're actually illustrating here is polarity of liquids and solids. Here we're seeing like dissolves like, so nonpolar dissolves in nonpolar. And here we're seeing that like does not dissolve unlike, so the polar water does not dissolve the nonpolar styrofoam. Does that make sense? Okay, we're good there.